Okay, good morning everybody, and welcome to our first of this year's mandatory training season. Let's hear it. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's going to be as fast and furious as last year. Anyway, today our topic is ethics, and we have a new code of ethics. And Carrie Butcher, who is Capital Metro's ethics officer, is here to talk us through that. Just goals for the session, pretty simple. We want to refresh the importance of the ethics conversation. And that's really the way I look at a lot of training. It's good if we can get it to the point that people actually talk about it around the organization, because it keeps us fresh and it keeps us all on board and all on the same page. We're going to brief the survey results. We had a survey several weeks ago, which you may remember. And I'd like to say that it's really important that you all participate in surveys. We had about 148 people, respond to this last one, and that gave us a pretty good read, but we have a lot more employees than that. And we're going to have some more surveys coming out throughout the year. And I just really encourage you to take the 5 or 10 minutes. I think the average time it took people to fill out the 12-question survey was something like 4 or 5 minutes. It's really worth that to have your voice heard, because truly our intention is to pay attention to it and do what we can to address concerns. So we're going to explore the new code of ethics, review the time and attendance policy, practice evaluating some ethical dilemmas, and ensure that you know how and when to report ethical concerns. How many of you feel that you've got a good beat on that right now? Okay, good. Yeah, mostly you can find it on Central, and it's anonymous. It's very easy to make a report if you feel that you need to. So here are some definitions of ethics from the American Heritage Dictionary, and of course the one that we're going to pay attention to most is the rules or standards governing the conduct of members of a profession. Why it's important? It creates a healthy, productive work environment. So in best case scenario, it really increases our foundation of trust in our communication and our behavior, the way we work with each other, and certainly in our collective intention to protect the company. It assures a positive community perception and consumer confidence. So, of course, it's always best that we have fewer things get into news reports if something untoward is going on in the company. It defines our culture through values and behavioral standards. And I just want to talk briefly, how many of you have noticed the big poster that's in the hallways that is titled Our Guiding Principles? Yeah. I was eventually really excited when I saw that. I say eventually because I've done a lot of work in different organizations, and often you'll walk into an organization and there's a plaque not much bigger than this on the wall that describes its values. And the thing that always makes you do a little eye roll when you see those is that often you look at them and you go, well, I'm not really sure what that means, and I have no idea of how anyone would do it. And so the day that I stopped on my way into the HR office and really read the poster, I stopped and I went, wow, this is really great. Because for each word that's used in the acronym, there's a description right there of how we can put this to effect in the workplace every day. So that's a new aspect of our values in the organization, and I think it's great that we have that and we can really work with it. Also, compliance reduces financial and legal liabilities. Once again, that helps protect the organization, and strongly intersects with federal EEOC and FLSA, which is Fair Labor Standards Act. So a lot of these mandatory trainings tie together in some way. And it addresses the human factor. There is a very important line in the Code of Conduct in the new Code of Ethics that just talks about how we interact with each other and how we work with each other on a daily basis. So the quality of experience we provide for each other through our behavior can maintain Capital Metro as an environment of high trust, engagement, and productivity. Hay Group is one of those business groups out there that measures particular things in organizations, and they found that a great employee experience delivers 43% more productivity. So that just means when we all enjoy working together, when we get along, when we support each other. And employee experience is something that HR in particular this year is going to begin to focus more on. We have some surveys coming out, well, a survey coming out that will address that. And then we're also going to be looking at training, and again, just getting that intention into conversation in the organization. It also provides a 10% increase in customer ratings, and that's without particularly focusing on customer service. It's just because people are happier in the environment that it plays out into the community, and customers experience it as well. So factors in ethics decision making. Take a look at that list and see what helps us make decisions around ethics. And tell me which one you think might be most apt to get us in trouble. Self, yes, absolutely. And that functions just because, probably 99, 98% of the time we do really well with that because we have that internal gut feeling of what's right. And as human beings, for the most part, we want to comply with it. But then sometimes, a little bit of a very personal value gets in there, and we might make a decision against policy. It could be something really simple. Maybe I have a really sick friend. I've used up, all my family leave, and I would like to help this person out. So if I really start thinking about it and think, well, it's not really fair. I should have more family time than that. How can I make this work? I can just cheat on my time a little bit and, maybe say it's for family, or, say that I'm on an on-it trip and I just got backed up, and somehow I buy the time to help take care of my friend. Another way we do it is often when there's a big goal involved. Sometimes that's just to get money, sometimes it's to accomplish something. But one of the things that neuroscientists have found is that when there's a big goal focus, often empathy goes way down. We'll start, forgetting about human beings. We'll start forgetting about how we treat people, and we just get the money. Sometimes that shows up in society, too, when a big goal starts not making sense. And then also, in addition to that, sometimes it's just that we don't like the policy. We think the policy is stupid and it should be changed. But rather than go through a formal, respectful process about that, we might just go way out on a limb to break that policy and prove that, it's something that should be changed. So every way that we might err on the self level can usually be softened, dealt with, again, by having a simple conversation with somebody and saying, hey, this is what's going on with me. How can I do this and still respect the foundation of the company's ethics and, have something work out? Sometimes the answer is no, but that's okay too. So really when we have questions, this is where we want to look. Does it meet the values of the company? Is it consistent with organizational policies? And is it acceptable under laws and regulations? Very simple. The good news is, based on the survey, we're actually doing very well. I did a little bit of research online, and I found the Ethics and Compliance Initiative. This is a worldwide organization that measures ethics in companies. And you can see some of the darker orange companies here are the ones that are doing better in creating ethics and complying with them. And then, in addition, one of the ways we know that we're doing well is that they identified 6 points for a good ethics program, and these are the 6 points. We have every one of them in our program. So it helps assure that we have a strong ethics consciousness. Another way we know is from our survey. Compared to national global ECI surveys, our scores are high and suggest a strong culture of ethics. Positive response scores ranged from 52% to 89% on all 12 questions. And in the worldwide survey, when you hit about 50%, that's where they consider that you're leaning into a very strong ethics culture. Key management questions scored 52 to 62%, and that's also strong by global standards. Now, it's good that supervisors and managers came in that way, because supervisors build trust when they give feedback for ethical workplace conduct. And then reports of misconduct rise by 94% when top management promotes workplace integrity. So again, keeping it in conversation keeps us all working with that foundation of trust together. So Carrie's going to have a few more comments about the survey that we did, and then also walk us through the code of ethics.
Well, good morning. I am Carrie Butcher. For any of you who I have not met, I serve as the agency's ethics officer. Before we leave the topic of the survey and talk about the code of ethics, which is our main focus today, I want to take a brief minute to talk about the survey. While the overall results of the survey show that we as an agency have a strong ethical culture, that doesn't mean that we didn't hear from you in the comments section about things that concern you. I want to make sure that everyone understands these comments are completely anonymous. And so we encourage you to put your comments in the survey, because while overall we are great, we understand there are still issues in the agency that we would like to address. However, many of the comments that we received are very general. They are things like, my manager isn't held to the same standard I am. Or, I feel like my supervisor favors one person over another. That is good general information for us to have, because it tells us something about the culture or people's perceptions of our culture. But we can't investigate that, and we can't address the issue unless you give us more information. So while those are great general comments, I would encourage everyone in the survey or otherwise, and at the end of today we'll talk about how to report things. If you have a real concern about something going on in your area, please report it, because you will continue to have that feeling unless we look into it and address it.